Fallacies. All fallacious reasoning falls into one or more of three broad categories of questionable premise, suppressed evidence, and invalid inference. We reason fallaciously when we accept premises that should be doubted, neglect relevant evidence, and/or draw conclusions not sufficiently supported by evidence. An appeal to authority is often based on unsound logic. Person A is an authority on the topic. A says something about that topic. Therefore, A is probably correct. Said differently, claiming something is true or not just because an authority on the subject believes it to be true only relies on the credibility of the authority rather than the evidence of the claim. There are three questions to ask. Is the source likely to have the information or good judgment we need? If so, can we trust the authority to tell it to us straight? Do we have the time, desire, and ability to reason the matter out for ourselves? We must choose our authorities carefully and make judgments about believability. Authorities and experts are not all the same. Every profession has those who are less than completely ethical, and it's possible for the personal interests of experts to conflict with their duties to their clients. Authorities in one field aren't necessarily experts in another. A good example of this is a movie star using their popularity as an actor to affect political persuasions, or an athlete endorsing a certain type of shoe as if the shoe validates performance. Authorities often disagree. We have a responsibility to understand things for ourselves. Authorities can provide evidence, reasons, and arguments, but the conclusions are our responsibility. Our next fallacy is inconsistency. This fallacy is an argument which contains a contradiction, and the propositions cannot both be true. Yogi Berra, the famous baseball player, was well known for his inconsistencies, such as, "I never said most of the things I said." Inconsistencies occur when arguing one way at one given time and another way at another time. An organizational inconsistency occurs when one representative says one thing and another representative says something to contradict that. Inconsistencies can be saying one thing and doing another. Inconsistency is often connected with hypocrisy, pretending to believe what one does not, or to be what one is not. The next fallacy is straw man. The straw man fallacy is committed when we misrepresent an opponent's position or misrepresent a competitor's product, go after a weaker opponent while ignoring a stronger one, by exaggerating, misrepresenting, or completely fabricating someone's argument. It's much easier to present your own position as being reasonable. Next, we have a false dilemma. A false dilemma is one which can be shown to be uncogent because at least one of its premises is false. The form of a dilemma is either P or Q. If P, then R. If Q, then S. Therefore, either R or S. Show that either P or Q is false by going between the horns, which means by showing there is at least one other viable possibility. Another way to defeat a dilemma is to challenge one or both of its other two premises. This is called grasping the horns of the dilemma. In the either-or fallacy, an either-or fallacy, black or white fallacy, is similar to a false dilemma because it fails to acknowledge other alternatives. Begging the question is basically avoiding or evading the question. When the premise states another version of the conclusion, the question is avoided. Also, one might skirt the subject or put their own spin on the subject. Tokenism is mistaking a token gesture for the real thing. Tokenism is accepting a token or symbolic gesture in lieu of something more concrete. Tokenism is behavior or speaking one way when the heat is on and another when it is not. All fallacious reasoning falls into one or more of three broad categories of questionable premise, suppressed evidence, and invalid inference. We should make sure to carry through our reasoning to be sure that all relevant information is being considered.